welcome everybody to the coaching lobby for communication and stuff like that. This is going to be consisting of an hour and a half, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, depending on what's going on. But I'll go ahead and give you guys a summary of what your hour and a half is going to consist of, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So there's going to be about 3 phases. The first phase is going to be me talking for about 7 to 12 minutes on the 3 separate roles in Overwatch, on what they do, how to do them, things to kind of like look for, things to make things quicker, stuff like that. Then the next phase is going to be kind of picking the roles and stuff to that effect. That's going to take a couple minutes there. Then after that will be the playing phase. Usually ends up being around an hour and 10 minutes roughly. And that will be where you guys get to play and practice roles and stuff like that during that. So that's kind of what your hour and a half will consist of. Does anybody have any questions over anything before we get started? I usually open up with a couple questions. If anybody has any, I can answer maybe 1 or 2 questions. No?
Should we constantly give each other information?
Yes, except when 2 roles will be talking, and I'll explain that later on, so I'll cover over that. And then if it doesn't go into, if I don't cover it in as much detail as to answer that question, then feel free to go ahead and chime in and say, oh hey, so blah blah blah, or answer a little, or ask a little more specific thing there. But yes, there will be times to, and yes, there will be times for everybody to shut up. So any other questions? No?
Yeah, can you accept that invitation or that friend request?
Yeah, I'll accept all friend requests up until it gets full later on, after the lobby's over and stuff. Okay, so, I don't, if you're trying to message me, I don't see DMs. I don't ever accept DMs. I'm never going to read them. If I do, I just exit out of it, or I'll just send you a default message I send to everybody else, so. Alright, okay. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get started then. So there's 3 basic roles of Overwatch when it comes to communication. You have your shot caller, you have your target caller, and you have your ult tracker. Say these in specific order because these are the order that they're usually going to be talking in. The shot caller is going to be the first one to talk, and during this phase is going to be like before the team fight starts, during the loading screen, during the hero select screen, stuff like that. The overall goal of a shot caller is going to be like playing to win, or planning to win. That's kind of like what their goal is to win. So starting out with that, you're going to be building a team composition. That's going to be the first stepping stone when planning to win. Next thing is going to be pathing / play style, understanding if we need to path a certain way for this fight, or if we need to play a certain way to kind of counter how they're playing, or whatever you may need to do. These are things you want to communicate with your team before each fight. If something is going to change, if nothing's going to change, then nothing needs to be changed, and you may want to let people know that just in case. Next thing is going to be, and this is going to be more of mid-fight things when the fight's going on and stuff. And this is going to be kind of after we either get a kill, or after we get 2 kills, or after we lose 2 as well, 1 or 2 as well. Is telling our team if we need to continue engaging or if we need to reset. This is going to be very crucial to get more team fights in. As soon as we lose 1 or as soon as we lose 2, you should be telling us, yes, we need to back out, or we need to reset, or we need to keep fighting this. And by saying that, can tell our support line that may have a defensive ult to go ahead and use that, so that we can keep this fight going in our favor. So you have to communicate with your team what you're wanting them to do during the fight, so we know if we need to continue fighting, or if we can win this, or if we need to stall for time or die on pay. All these things you want to let your team know most of the time during the fight. Now, next thing, and this is going to be like the last thing, which will happen also before the fight, is going to be ultimate managing. So telling our team what ults we need to be using every fight before the fight. Ideally, if you have ultimates online before the fight starts, you want to be making a play with those ultimates, and have that play done before the fight starts. You do not want to be coming up with a plan midway through a fight. Now, if you get ults midway through, then yes, you can feel free to go ahead and let your team, yes, we need this ultimate, yes, we need, or don't use any ultimates, no ults, or dry fight or something like. You can go ahead and let them know that as well. But you need to be speaking, so you need to be letting us know some type of ultimate managing before the fight, and if somebody asks if we need to use the fight or use an ult that fight. Now, for the other 5 people that are not going to be shot calling, is going to be your job during this phase is to be quiet and just listen to what they're saying. That's all you got to do during this phase, is just literally shut the fuck up and listen, so you can execute the plan to the best of your ability and be ready for stuff if something's going to happen. So just kind of keep that in mind as well, and that's why it's kind of crucial to get the information out pretty quick and have it before the fight starts, so people can get into position and be ready and stuff like that. Now, a little pro tip when it comes to shot calling, and this goes for pretty much every single role. We do not care why. We don't care why you're telling us to use this. We don't care why you're telling us to play this or play this style or go this way or do this. We do not give a fuck. We just need you to tell us what to do so that we can do it. All right. Next thing is going to be our target caller. Our target caller is going to be the second person to talk. They're going to be talking during the fight and pretty much to start the fight, ideally. So they're going to be starting fights and stuff and focusing down targets. All they're going to be doing is telling us what target we need to focus. So target caller calls targets. That's all they do. If you're not a target caller, your job on here is going to be relaying information to your target caller so that they can call better targets. So you're gonna be calling out people who may be low HP in the back line, or somebody you see out of position, anything that you call or whatever. Go ahead and relay information, because they're not going to be able to see everything on your screen. So keep that in mind as well. And a little key thing when it comes to relaying information, only say it one time. It does not need to be repeated. That is what our target caller is really going to be doing there. Now, with the target caller, like I said, you're going to be calling targets. Now, how is that? You need to know how to call targets and what you need to be thinking of when just picking a target. You should have a reason behind picking every target so your team knows, oh, calling this target because of this reason and stuff like that. So there's about 4 things that you're going to be looking at when it comes to calling targets. And I'll say this from the hardest and most uncommon thing to, or least common thing to the easiest and most common thing to call targets. So the first thing, which is going to be, like I said, the most uncommon, hardest thing to call, is going to be low HP targets. Those are not going to be coming up all the time. So if somebody's low HP, you can go ahead and switch that target and stuff like that, but it's not going to be something that's going to be super common. Okay, next thing is going to be out of position. So somebody can be out of position or in our back line or something to that effect that we may be able to focus down. So call that target out during either a rotation or if they're in a back line or something like that. If you see that information or if you see that or you hear somebody call that out, then you can focus down that target as well and call that out for us. Next thing is going to be abilities used. This is going to happen really often because almost every ability is going to be coming back online every 6 to 8 seconds or so, 6 to 10 seconds. So whenever that's going on, you need to go ahead and call that person if we can focus that target down. So like abilities can be used by our team and be used by their team. So like a Zarya personal or friendly bubble, an anti-nade or somebody's hack, somebody's frozen, Reaper used Wraith, Mori used Fade. All these things that you can call out that we can focus down because they don't have those abilities online. And these are going to happen, like I said, way more common than the other two. Now this is going to be the most common and the easiest thing to call, is calling targets that everybody on your team can hit. Now you're going to be like, okay, well, how do I know if everybody on our team can hit this target? A lot of times when I say what's going to be the best target to call, oh, well, the healers, go for the supports. Well, if they have a Ana and a Mercy or something like that, you're not really going to be able to focus those targets down because Ana's going to be playing in the backline, but Mercy's going to be flying around and stuff like that, so it's going to be hard to necessarily start with those targets. So call targets that your least mobile and closest range hero on your team can hit, and then everybody else on your team should be able to hit that. So that's the easiest way to think of it. So a couple examples of this is going to be like a Brig, a Rhine, a Zarya, a Sigma, McCree, a Reaper, a Lucio, stuff like that. Moira. If any of these targets can kind of hit the target, it can hit a target those are the initial targets you probably want to start with, and then go to something that may come up like abilities used or out of position or low HP. That's when you want to be calling those things, okay? So start with something that everybody can hit, and then swap to something else that may be a little better beneficial for us to kill. All right, so those are things that you want to be looking for when it comes to target calling. Now, a little pro tip when it comes to calling targets is repeating the name multiple times. Remember, ideally, you're going to have 5 people giving out information, so you need to be that one voice over everybody else's that is repeating one name over and over and over again and hyping everybody up to focus that target down. If you're not doing that, you can't expect anybody to really focus targets over all the other clutter that may be coming in. So keep that in mind when it comes to that. Also, if you're calling targets for like 2-3 seconds, give out the location. Give out some location either on the top left, bottom right, main, on our Reinhardt, on our McCree, on our whatever, anything, talking third person, mega health pack, mini health pack, anything like that to kind of give a little bit of precise location if possible. Do not say over here, over there, on me. We don't know where the fuck that is or who you are. So keep that in mind when it comes to calling out locations and stuff like that. All right, so last but definitely not least is going to be our alt tracker. So what an alt tracker does is they track enemy ultimates. They're going to be looking at 4 things as well. These are not going to be listed from a hardest to easiest difficulty or something like that. This is going to be done from just the order that I've came up with. So one is going to be kill feed. So watching who's showing up in the kill feed. Somebody showing up in the kill feed all the time, they probably have a little bit of higher ult charge. Next thing, look at who's on fire. Just because somebody Diva showing up at the kill feed all the time doesn't mean McCree was being body shot Andy and didn't get most of the damage off. Okay. Next thing is going to be and these last 2 things really go hand in hand, but one of them is going to be paying attention to what's going on around you, literally taking a step back, seeing how long the fight's been going on. If their tanks are getting out with low HP and getting healed back up, their supports are going to have their ults a little quicker. If their DPS has been just getting free damage off on your team the whole time, stuff like that. These are things that you want to be looking for during the actual match, and just kind of paying attention to. Don't just be tunnel vision in on one thing the whole time. Always look around what's going on and take awareness of what's happening around you. And then the last thing is going to be mirroring your own team comp of what they may have. So if we're running a Reinhardt versus another Reinhardt, our Reinhardt won the fight. Their Reinhardt died a little early. Our Reinhardt's on fire. You look at our Reinhardt, oh, he's at 70% charge or 80% or 80% ult charge. You can probably assume the enemy Reinhardt may only be at 30%. So these are things that you want to be looking for when it comes to tracking ultimates and stuff like that, to make it a little bit easier for you to kind of gauge what they may be at. All right. And during this phase, if you're not an alt tracker, excuse me, your job is going to be shutting up. Like, you just need to be quiet and listen to this information, because you may need to play or change your play style a little specific for that, or may need to hold cooldowns or something like that. Like, say they have barrages fight. Well, Diva, you may want to make sure you have defense matrix, or McCree, you may want to make sure you have stun if you're there. Be keeping eyes out for you so you can get that damage off on. All these things you may want to just change up your individual play style for that. And that's not going to be on our shot caller to tell you specifically how to play. They're just going to be kind of guiding the whole team as a general. And our shot call or alt tracker is going to be talking during the cleanup phase and kind of the end of the time, like before their last person spawns back in, because ideally you want to have all this information out before the last person spawns in, so our shot caller can make a plan before they come out of spawn, ideally, or well, before they're able to come to the choke and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind when it comes to speed and keeping everything short and sweet. Now, a little pro tip when it comes to alt tracking is just give a name and a percent. That's all we need, and we don't need to know what they did last fight. Nobody cares. Same reason about the shot, same thing with the shot caller. We don't care if they used this fight, or they was playing this aggressive, or they just switched it. I don't care. All I need to know is how much percent they're at. And if you don't know, just give a 0, 50, or 100. Try to name off all 6 heroes. So just hit tab, go left to right, name off as much as you can, and go from there. Simple as that. All right. So that's pretty much it for that segment of the lobby. So does anybody have any questions over any of the roles or anything else in particular before we go to the next phase? No? Okay. Then let's go ahead and go into the next phase. Now, nobody say anything, nobody do anything. This is going to be a thing where I just need to talk and you guys just need to listen. So for right now, this is going to be where you guys get to do pick your roles, stuff like this. How this is going to work, I'm going to ask, does anybody want to be any roles? If anybody wants a role, then you go ahead, speak up. First come, first serve to whatever you want to practice. Hence why everybody should have a mic here, or has to use a mic. If nobody picks a role, then I'll go in order. Does anybody want to be shot caller, going once, twice, and then I'll pick something there and go for the next 3 roles and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So I guess I'll go ahead and open up the communication. So does anybody want new roles?
May I be shot caller?
Okay, so Lord Reaper will be our shot caller.
And I'll take dibs on target.
Okay, Squid will be our target caller. We still need an alt tracker. So does anybody want to be alt tracker?
I'll take alt tracking.
Okay, so the other Mpulse will be our alt tracker. Okay, so any questions of those 3 roles or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I have a. Okay, so you said like I understand the whole, trying to target call, or like with Zen's Discord, trying to Discord something that Ryan can hit, or let's say, okay, so I have a example and I want to get your feedback towards.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's say our Ryan is about to engage in a duel.
Okay.
So it's we're playing Ryan Zarya and they're also playing Ryan Zarya. So their Zarya is slightly out of position.
Uh-huh.
Also in swinging range of Ryan. And their Ryan is also engaging. They're all engaging. Alright, so my question is, because Ryan would be the easy target, but is Zarya a possible Discord? Like, instead of focusing mainly the Ryan, can you instead make the team focus towards the Zarya?
Yeah, if she's out of position, the big thing when it comes to dealing with the Zarya is going to be looking for ability use, because she may be just trying to get charge, and
she has like
if you
5
already,
seconds on personal.
If you already know she's used bubble, yes, focus her down, because she has no movement ability, she has no bubble, she dies. Simple as that. If Ryan's able to swing on her, then it doesn't make a difference if it's a Ryan v Ryan or Ryan v Zarya, because at that point, the enemy Ryan doesn't have anything to stop Ryan's damage from coming through, but the Zarya does, and that's what she relies on to stay alive. And since she doesn't, Ryan can swing into that, and everybody else can focus that down. So yes, but for me, and this is, I know you said you play something with Zen, I never call discords. Oh, I think they lagged out. I never call discords. I've played all my time. The only time I've ever called discords was in the GOATS meta when you was playing for Discord. That was the engage. That just landing a Discord on the Rhine was the engagement clue, because it was so hard to do so. No, you're fine. So for me, I like I said, I never call discords. I just discord what needs helped getting focused down, and then I go from there. It's the same thing as like having a damage boost. Like, you're not gonna call, if you're playing Mercy and you're damage boosting somebody, you don't necessarily need to call who you're damage boosting at all times, right?
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't it, since it's a, they take, 25% more damage, wouldn't it be a good idea to let your team know what is, being Discord?
Let me ask you a question. If a Tracer is dueling another Tracer, and you throw a Harmony and Discord on that Tracer duel, should you worry about focusing what the other 5 people can focus on, and focus calling that target, and then still be effective by helping your Tracer win that duel? Or should you still go call that Tracer that's going to be highly mobile that only 1 or 2 people can focus down?
Well, yeah, that's that specific duel. You're just trying to increase your own tracer's advantages, but I mean, still, wouldn't it be a good idea? Like you don't have to call that Discord. Like that would be a pointless Discord because the rest of your team.
That's what'll happen a lot of the times though. You're constantly changing Discords on stuff that may happen that may need to take more damage for 2 seconds. It's like damage boosting a hog as soon as he pulls, so he gets that extra damage off on that shot, and then you go back to doing whatever. That's all it is. So it's not like you have, like, Discord has no cooldown. So you can have a target discorded every second and switch Discords all the time. That's one reason why when I play Zen, I use the scroll wheel for Harmony and Discord, because I can easily swap targets on what needs to be focused down in a split second. Because I don't necessarily need that target to be killed, it just is like, oh, they need to die, they need to take some more damage, I'm going to help that person finalize that kill. But we still have 4 or 5 other things that we have to focus on. So, and this goes for everybody here, and that's a really good question too, because like, if you're not able to focus on that same target, you don't necessarily need to be shooting at that target to call a target. You could be calling another target that everybody should focus on, and you can be doing your own stuff, right? So like, say you're a Widowmaker and you're calling targets, and you're in a Widowmaker duel. Obviously, as a Widowmaker, you have to win that duel as a Widow, but you don't need to call Focus Widow, because the only people that's going to be able to focus Widow is probably the other Widow, maybe one other person. You need to call a target that everybody on your ground team can actually focus, right? So it's the same thing with Zenyatta. You have other shit you have to worry about. Do that shit, but all you're doing is guiding your team to who we need to focus. And if you put a Discord on something, great. If you don't, it doesn't matter. We still have 5, 6 other people that can still focus that same target down. The Discord can just help. So that, hopefully, does that answer your question a little bit there?
I mean, it does, but I've also had some other coaching from like a few other people, and they make the same point, except that, like, you don't have to call like those little duels, like that Widowmaker. You'd be like,
yeah, you can call like
that's not important. You don't have.
It's a completely gray area. It's not going to be it's going to help you or help your team or something like that. If there's a lot of communication going on, then yeah, you probably don't need to call that he's discorded. Because if you're already calling targets for us, why do you need to let us know that he's discorded? Why does it matter? That's extra space that's wasted at that point. Because we're just focusing targets you're going after. So if it's discorded or not, it doesn't make a difference. That's just extra space that you're wasting with communication. Rather than saying, oh, focus Ryan. If you say, focus Ryan, he's discorded. Focus Ryan, he's discorded. Who cares that he's discorded? We just need to know who we're focusing. So and like I said, it's a gray area. There are times where you can call it out and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're calling targets anyways, what's the point of mentioning that? So, and like I said, like it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do, whatever works for you. I just know I don't ever really call Discords. Very rarely I'll call Discords. I will call targets to focus. Will they be discorded? Yes and no. It just kind of depends. Because I don't need to necessarily call a Discord to focus a target down. Alright, so that's the question I'll answer, and then we'll go into some other stuff we'll answer some more questions later on. Alright, so we need to change our options and settings and stuff like that really quick, and then we'll be able to play. Alright, so everybody go to options, go to sound, and then we're going to go to music volume, turn that down to 0. And then we're going to put on subtitles, put it on critical gameplay. Then we're going to put on voice chat mode. We're going to put it on open mic. Then we're going to go to controls, and we're going to put in under hero, we're going to put allied health bars. We're going to put that on always. Next, we're going to do always skip kill cam, turn that on. Kill feed display, turn that on. And this is under gameplay. I don't know if I mentioned that already. Tips display, turn that off. Waypoint opacity, 0. Respawn icon, 0. Player outline strength, 100. And then the last but not least, go to social, career profile visibility. Put it on private.
I remember this.
Then we'll queue up as soon as everybody's profile is private.
Alright.
Alright, so Reapers is good. We're still waiting on Squids.
What's the gameplay one?
Gameplay is a long one. So gameplay is skip kill cam on, kill feed display on, and then toward the middle, tips display, turn that off. And then the percentages at the bottom is 0, 0, 100.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Alright. Daughter, we're still waiting on your profile to go private. And Void Doomfist as well.
It is private.
Okay.
It says it is.
Okay, and then it's probably gonna take a second. Confetti.
Mine's private.
Confetti, wow. I went from 2,700 to 2,950 in 2 days with your comm tips. Helped a lot. Awesome. Well, thanks. Congrats. Nice. We're just waiting for this thing to refresh. Okay, so it looks like... Okay, Squids finally went through. It usually takes a minute for the server to update. I don't know why. So we're just waiting on Daughters. Alright, so while we're waiting, I guess, is there any last questions anybody had? Any quick questions I can answer?
If we don't want a roll, can we switch?
I prefer not to. Any roles that we have, we're just going to keep it the same way so everybody can get practice, because there's going to be an analysis after each lobby. So we can say, okay, you need to work on this, you need to work on this, and so on and so forth. And if we swap every time, then that analysis isn't really going to do any value, because we're going to be like, people's going to be swapping.
Quick play.
So. Alright, let me go ahead and accept these things.
My ear just got blasted with whatever that sound was. Do you have a push to mute button? Is that like
I usually do push to talk.
To mute your mic is M by default. It should be M for default.
Oh shit.
Nope.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
It might be T, and some, like, that's happened to me where T was my mute button, but it depends what menu you're in too. Some menus won't let you hit M for some reason. Alright, so Reaper, what are we going to be playing here?
Alright, let's run Ryan, Zarya, a Widow.
You want Ryan or Zarya?
I can take Ryan. Widow, May, Lucio, and Mora.
Are you playing hit scan, Void?
Yes.
Okay. I keep forgetting. One day I'll remember. So.
This is gonna be weird for me to target call.
So our plan is to use the May wall to wall their tanks off, and we rush their tanks, and the Widow stays back and get picks from behind.
Okay.
Right.
Round one, capture the objective.
The one thing in this composition, we don't have anything to heal our Widow, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that works. I'm not in your speed boost, Lucio.
Bubble. Ready?
I have wall
Helping
ready.
you now?
Frank, can I? Or I can. Alright.
Reaper on our May.
Are we still fighting this?
No, let's get out. Let's get out. Regroup.
Stay behind me.
We're moving backwards.
Until we get our team back.
Alright, let's go in.
I have wall ready.
We're on the left side.
Brian's wall. Monkey's
Speed,
jumping.
speed.
We call targets?
Monkey in the back line.
We kill
Get out.
targets?
We need some target calling. Who's our target?
Yeah, we need to know who we're going after.
Ult tracking.
Okay. Alright, so can we go at ult track?
No Shatter. Genji 50. Ana 50. Same for Baptiste. Baptiste 75.
Okay.
Monkey 60.
Okay.
Reaper probably 40.
Okay. What are
let's
we
go
going to be
in.
using this fight?
Let's use Shatter. Just Shatter. And if we get Widow's ult, let's use Widow's ult. Alright, let's go.
Widow, watch yourself, Winston.
Baptiste, you know. Baptiste, follow up with Reaper. Reaper, we're going after Reaper. Reaper's one. He's one.
Can you call locations when you call target,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, I got it.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Someone on point. Genji on
This
point.
Genji.
I thought you were chasing him, Ryan, but you just kind of stopped.
One thing when you're calling targets is that you're in front of the whole team. You have to guide the team as Lucio.
They didn't use anything last fight. Winston 80 to 90. Genji 70. Reaper 55. Ryan 0.
Ryan dies. Follow up, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan is
I have
fine.
nail. Do you want nail here? Or?
Yeah, use it. No, wait. Oh. Get out. Fuck.
Okay.
Bro, what? What the fuck?
Hey.
Alright,
Expect Nanoblade next
That
fight.
could have
Okay.
gone better.
And the Reaper 0, Winston 0. Reinhardt, more than likely 60.
Okay.
Baptiste, no Baptiste use ult.
Okay, this is last fight territory, so use ult as they come up.
Especially Monkey.
Let's go in.
Reaper behind
Reaper
on
behind.
me.
Monkey in backline.
What is that? I can touch. Point.
Alright.
God, that was
Map is one.
Fuck, Ryan
is that?
is low. Ryan is low. Okay, Ryan is getting healed.
No Nanoblade yet.
Yeah, get this
Let's
down.
get the Ryan, guys.
Ana low. Ryan alone.
on point.
Ryan.
He can die.
I have grab. Okay, what?
Alright, let's use
I
Zarya
didn't
ult
use
this
anything
way.
good.
Yeah, let's use Zarya ult this way.
Sorry, ult. Tell me when.
Okay, jump
Um,
again.
You can use it whenever.
Follow up, Monkey.
All you need to know is that we're going to use it this fight, so you just need to be using
sir.
it.
Very nice.
So.
All right.
Our immortality.
Push. Okay.
And it's one.
Let's back out.
I have mail in 4.
Use it.
Ryan,
Use it
I
as you get ult. It's overtime, so it's about to be overtime.
Okay. They still have nano, and they haven't
Get on
popped
point, get
latest
on
yet.
I'm maze on point.
Watch for
but I'm
reroll.
not-
For half.
Can we call targets? Who are we
Backline.
on?
Bro.
I have no idea who we're
Right,
on.
right.
Yo, who's the target caller? I'm not the target caller.
I'm dead.
Okay. If you die, it's
Use your
fine. We don't have
own
to, I'm not going to worry about calling targets, but when you are live or here, you need to call targets if possible.
I'm getting on point to use Shatter.
Why haven't they popped nano or blade yet? There it is.
There it is.
Watch this.
Alright, so that's pretty
What's
much
this
it.
one?
Alright, so is there anything? Are we switching anything up Reaper first? Let me get that out.
Okay, so I need to check the map
Okay.
first.
Okay, fair enough. And then I'll tell you guys a little bit of stuff that we definitely need to fix real quick while we're in this little thing.
Alright, let's switch the Widow off
House.
for a Reaper. Switch the Widow off for a Reaper.
Okay. Anything else?
No,
Okay.
nothing else.
All right. So, target calling. Whenever you're target calling, you have to be repeating the name over and over again. You're not doing that at all. You need to be like, when you're calling that Reaper, you should be like, oh, focus Reaper, 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 Reaper. That's how you need to be calling targets. Or if we're on Ryan, keep repeating the names. Everything else, start calling, target calling, is
I don't know. That's
Okay.
that's just kind of
Capture the
with Lucio. It's pretty. It's kind of counterintuitive. Just target calling in general.
well, either way, you still need to call targets for us. Hello? Who are we on?
Sorry, low.
Reaper to the left.
We're not dead.
Oh shit.
Reaper behind, Reaper backline.
Reaper's
Reaper
on.
can die. Let's follow this Reaper.
Genji in main, focus Genji.
Genji
Genji
knows
help.
the
Left
flag.
side. Reaper left side. He can die. He can die. He's one.
Reaper's on.
Reaper dead. Oh no,
Follow
go on
banana.
Diana.
Keep going. Keep
Bap
going.
is
Keep
frozen.
going.
There we go.
And there's one.
Bap is out.
Point.
Point. Get
Let's
this
go kill this
Zarya.
Zarya. Zarya.
Over here?
No immortality
Watch the
field.
Reaper.
Reaper left side. No immortality. Let's go.
Reaper's half.
For run.
I have
Reaper no
wall.
Ray.
He's fading away. We're not going to chase that.
Genji going
Use
to
May
point.
ult here.
Let's back up.
I'm at 40%. I'm not even close.
Reaper left side. Run, you can hit that.
Don't LOS.
Oh.
Run.
Oh.
Ball.
Get the Ryan. Focus the Ryan.
Perfect.
Reaper's half.
Reaper's very low.
Reaper can die. He's low. He's one.
Run.
Run.
Ryan.
Reaper has ult, by the way.
He already used it.
He
No,
just,
I have
Ryan
ult.
just got, I don't know.
Oh.
Focus run. Run low.
Run. Zar.
Hey. That's it.
Huge blade.
They just used a
go.
bunch of
Let's go
ults.
for it.
and
Ult track.
Shatter. They used a bunch of ults. They probably have Zarya and Baptiste. That's it.
Okay,
Yo,
what,
left room. Go in the left room.
what ults are we gonna
Did they
use
use
this way?
grab?
No face.
They
Alright.
they just
Okay.
swapped, so no.
okay. Alright, we're gonna use Shatter here, and if we cannot get anything with Shatter, we'll use Reaper ult.
Reaper in left room.
Reaper ult after Shatter.
I can wall.
They're far now.
I'm down.
That's
Reaper
big.
behind.
Reaper can die.
Call targets. Here we on.
Nice. Dude.
Ryan.
Huge run. Sig, follow up. Sig, one.
Call out suck.
You bubble me.
Red bubble now. Bubble ready.
We're
That
still
far is
fighting this. So what are we
pretty
doing?
good.
Get out.
Okay.
Get out.
I can wall you this. Lucy, I can wall you out. Okay.
What are you thinking? Let's see. They swapped DPS, so they're not gonna have ults.
We have to back up.
Anna
We're down one.
50. Baptiste has ult. Reinhardt. Let's see. Reinhardt 30. Same with. What do you
Okay,
call it?
May, after you use her ult, change to McCree. They have a car.
Alright, you want me to use my ult this fight?
Yeah.
Push.
Okay.
There's
Ready? Let's go.
Am I slow?
Han's on the right side. He's isolated. He can die.
Hanzo's behind.
Hanzo. Get on point.
Sig on point.
Get on point. Get the Sig.
Baptiste can die. Bap.
Get out. We lost. Alright.
Baptiste used ult. Far is popping far, but our far used ult. Anna used ult for Nano.
Watch the
So-
recon. He has recon.
I would say Ryan has ult. And look for Hanzo ult, yeah.
Alright, let's use Reaper ult here.
Okay.
Back out.
No heals.
What a shot.
Back out. No.
Oh my god, this far is flanking, I guess. Alright.
Back out.
Let's start over at the beginning.
Alright, let's go in. Use Reaper ult here. Reaper ult and Zarya ult here.
McCrae's
Let's go.
not here with you guys. So.
Alright, call suck. Reaper, help a Reaper.
Go for Reaper help.
92%.
That's good. Mr. Ryan. Okay.
98%.
Point.
Oh.
Okay, so let's go over like
92%.
yeah. I was calling that out so that we could like our shot caller. You should be like looking at the time that we have and who's going to be touching. So like, let's go over like what was good and what was bad. Oh, we can watch this real quick. That shouldn't have counted. Anybody see that teleport? Okay. So let's go over what was good, what was bad. Alright, so shot caller. Decent plays when it came to your ultimates to an extent. One thing that you gotta make sure you're doing is telling us like no more ults, don't use anything here, or dry fight or something like that. One of the big reasons why we didn't really win that last one is we definitely could have won that super easy, but we engaged with Mail and you was like, all right, well, May's gonna swap over to McCree. All right, fine, fair enough. That can get some ult out from them. But then we still used the Moira ult and the Lucy ult. You could have told us, like, if this was a lost fight, you should have said immediately, hey, we don't need to use anything else. All we need to use is this ult. And this needs to be something that you need to say as well if we need to continue engaging or if we need to back out. Because as soon as you say, hey, we need to reset, people's going to be turning around, and hopefully our support line doesn't use support ults. That's kind of going to be like one of the key things that they're going to be listening to so that they know not to use anything. If you say, yes, we need to continue engaging, then our supports are probably going to go ahead and use ults if needed to kind of keep the fight going in our favor. But these are things that you need to coordinate and stuff like that as well, but you're not. Also, on the first map, when we was running on Ruins and we ran the Widow, how does our Widow get healed ever in that composition? Because we was running a Moira and a Lucio. And a Zarya and a Mei. So, not one, she can't really get peeled for, because Lucio has a job to speed our Mei, Ryan, Zarya, our whole team comp around. Moira ain't healing anybody because she ain't gonna be healing, or she ain't gonna be healing the Widow, because she's not gonna waste a whole healing orb on one hero. It's not gonna get as much value. So that team composition, it doesn't really synergize very well. You could have ran a Lucio and an Ana, or you could ran Mercy Ana. You could even maybe run a Mercy Lucio with running two main supports like that. Not necessarily recommend it, but you can run that. Or you could have ran a Brig and an Ana, or Brig and a Moira, something to where at least our Widow can get healed. Because if she can't get healed, as soon as she gets shot once, she's kind of out of commission until she gets heals, or she has to go get health back or something like that. So that's something you got to be keeping an eye out for there. Target calling got a lot better on that second round. And like when you was calling the BAP and when you was calling the Reaper and all this stuff, that's exactly how you need to be calling it, and it needs to be called every single time. Yes, some heroes are going to be easier to call targets, some are not going to be easy, but it doesn't matter what you're playing. You should still be able to call targets effectively for the most part every single time, especially in this type of environment where it's quick play and it's not really anything super competitive. This should be a cakewalk for everybody here to get easy practice in. So my thing is making sure that you're able to communicate. That is my goal. I don't care if you're playing your hero well or not or anything like that. All I'm worried about is the communication going out effectively. So that's the main goal of learning this lobby and stuff like that, is to get communication across effectively. Alt Tracker, really good job. Like, I don't think I could say anything major there. One thing I will say is try to get it out a little bit quicker, if possible. And
sorry, brain freezes.
No, you're fine. Most of the time, almost every fight you're getting alt tracking out. So that's really good that you're getting that stuff out. Now,
what about extended fights? I can't like track them in real time.
And extended fights, the only thing you really want to track is like if they're going to be getting it soon. So like if you know that Reaper was at 70 before the fight started, he's been shooting left and right, shotguns are all over the floor, you can probably say, hey, Reaper's going to have ult soon, be ready for Reaper ult, or be ready for blood, because you can see their playstyle change because the fight's been lasting a little long. So that's something you want to mention to us. And that goes for every ultimate. If you see like playstyles change or something like that and you know they're already close, then you need to be ready to have that call that out for us. But other than that, like I said, alt tracking, I don't think there's anything major that you need to work on. Now, the accuracy wise, I can't tell you how accurate you was because I don't know what their alts are, and I'm looking at other things as well. But overall, the effective communication is doing really good. Just try to get it out a little bit quicker, consistently. Other than that, that's like the only thing I think you really need to work on. Later on, we'll probably get a little bit more into depth of that, but I'm not going to tell you to alt track anymore because you seem to be doing it every time. I'm not going to clutter comms that way. So as soon as you feel the fight's kind of over, go ahead and start alt tracking. Or shot caller, if you feel like the fight is over, shot caller, you can tell them to go ahead and start alt tracking. Whatever works, but keep in mind, and everybody here on the team and stuff, if our shot caller is talking before the fight, shut up. If our alt tracker is talking after the fight, shut up. Alt tracker, if our shot caller is if our alt tracker is trying to alt track, you shut up and then wait for that to come up. Alt tracker, if you're taking a little amount of too long and our shot caller needs to get out information, shot caller, you can feel free to interrupt and we need to go ahead and start the next thing, but let them get a couple alts off of like what they may have. If it takes too long, shot caller, then go ahead and do so. But ideally, you want to keep the rotation of communication going very quickly. So just kind of keep that in mind for everybody's sake. And like I said, this is in quick play. You guys are new to this. I don't expect anything super major happening here, but these are things that everybody needs to work on. All right. So any questions or anything like that before we get to our next one? No? Okay. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, really quick. Is it possible that due to our team comp, like, so is it possible? Because like, if I'm a Zenyatta, like I can shot call because I'm used to playing Zenyatta. Like that's my dude, right? But as a Lucio, it's kind of hard to be. It just feels hard, extremely hard in that position. Like because I'm above y'all, so like y'all don't see what I see at the same time. Like I can't.
You're above us. What do you mean?
If I'm in front of y'all, like I can't really.
Okay, so that's your first problem.
Be behind y'all and see like, okay, so we can swing on to, you know, this Rhine that our Rhine is.
What are you focusing on when you're playing Lucio? Are you comfortable playing Lucio?
I mean,
if you are playing Lucio,
like real talk, I've probably started playing Lucio like.
Are you okay now?
Like the 13 hours is in like the last 3 days.
Okay, so you're new. So you're new to Lucio.
Really...
Fine, fair enough. Okay, are you good at communicating? Are you good at target calling? Effectively.
I would say yeah. If I'm like a Zenyatta or Ana or somewhere in the back line, yeah.
Then that seems like you're okay at target calling because you can't do it effectively on every hero because you're trying to do two things at once. So don't worry about your gameplay on Lucio or anything like that. Your main thing is to make sure you can consistently target call. That is what separates lower SR people from higher SR, is consistency. No matter what hero you're playing, you should be able to be 30, 40%, 50% effective at this moment on a hero that you're new to playing. No matter what. Your main goal, no matter what's going on, is to lead the team on who we need to focus down. That is the only thing you need to worry about. Anything after that, then you go for that. Don't even try doing any abilities or anything else. Call that first target and then use your abilities and then try doing that and then go for the next one and then go for the next one. Don't worry about doing anything else on the hero that you may or may not be comfortable on. Because just because you're more comfortable on this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best thing for you to be able to call targets on. Because there will be situations when you're playing that you have to still call targets on heroes that you may not be super comfortable with. And you still need to be able to get that communication out effectively in those times. Alright?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of water. Alright, let's go queue back up. And I'm going to go get some water. And for Hidden Shadow, it said someone is wearing a hood now. Yes, I am wearing a hood today. Because my hair is not the best.
If you guys see an ult and I don't say it, just yell at me. Just tell me that's being used.
Okay. And I also think I'm going to order some pizza because the crew that I was watching today, excuse me, got pizza. And that pizza looked bomb. So I think I'm going to order pizza. So. Alright. I'm back from my long journey from getting water.
Why?
Whew, that's some that water fights back, boy.
Sounds spicy.
You know, it got a little kick to it. Got a little kick. You know.
I don't know what kind of water you're drinking.
Traveling to Numbani. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
Boy playing.
Right, let's play Ryan, Zarya, Hanzo, and
Looking chat.
let's get a Torbjorn. Yeah. Oh, and for the supports, let's have Lucio and Ana this time.
Squid requested swapping. Looking chat.
Oh, okay. This round I can. And then we'll swap to somebody new. Unless somebody is wanting to call targets, then somebody can call targets this round.
I mean, I guess I can do both, because one is after the other. You're only calling out targets during the fight and things after the fight.
If you think you can, then yeah, definitely go ahead and go for it. I'm not gonna.
Does anyone else want it? I'm not gonna hawk both rolls.
Yeah, we'll switch some stuff around after this since Squid's not going to be able to do it. So.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Anyone want it?
That's fine. Just go ahead and do both for now, so we can keep everything clear. And if you can't do it, I'll swap over.
Let's back it up. They got a monkey on the main. A monkey and main. Monkey and Widow at main. Yep.
Hold shield. Oh, never mind. Ain't there anymore.
Diva on main. Diva up top, left side main. Widow long.
Bottom.
Go ahead and drop.
Below.
I do not see this hold up.
Go back. Diva Hydra. You wanna go back Hydra?
On a main, on a low main.
Hey, somebody.
Widow far right. Far right. Widow far right.
On me, Diva. The Horror, sorry.
Hey, keep an eye on that Widow.
Let's go in on the Diva. Let's.
Only Lucio heal.
Widow just did.
Back up. Shit, I'm supposed to start down. Sorry.
Back up. No heals right now. Only Lucio.
Diva. First mech, next up. Winston.
I have Molten Core in 5. Do you want it?
Yeah, use it.
We're almost ready.
Alright, I'm getting.
Okay, focus Winston. Winston's really far. Winston's anti. Focus Winston.
There's a point. Help me. McCree behind the point. Help me.
Fuck, I
And
jumped.
Zen behind.
Widow.
McCree and Zen behind the point.
McCree half. Okay, fight should be over.
Get back on point.
We have.
Okay, Winston. Okay, no, McCree.
McCree, we have to get them. Back out. Don't go in. Alright.
Widow top left.
Yep. We're down.
We can't
down
poke. Widow's still top left.
Don't go in.
Alright.
Ultra.
Right. Use grab dragon.
just-
Use grab dragon. Next fight.
Primal, they probably have Primal since they nanoed. Use all McCree, watch McCree, Zen, and Primal.
Widow dead.
Get on point.
Zen.
Where?
On
I see
point.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Grab is good.
Dragon. Hans is dead.
Take dragon.
Alright, we're back up.
Alright.
Should I go Mercy instead?
No, stay
Never
on
mind.
Mercy.
I didn't use any else. Try to use primal. Sorry, I mean Diva, baby Diva.
Not
Should we
important.
push? McCree low.
I'll try to call more.
Winston,
I'll try to
as soon
call
as bubble
things
comes out, break bubble. That's what I need. Alright, try Zen. Nope. Zen gonna point.
Don't go in there.
Never
Don't go
mind.
in there.
Alright, what are we
Fight's
gonna use
over.
Zen
this
is
You
fight?
can all
gonna
try.
definitely.
Fight's over. You can all try.
Zen is definitely gonna have ult. They haven't used Nat. Well, they have used Nano. Nano at 50. Diva at
Okay,
100.
you have to stop.
Primal at 50.
I'm gonna use Shatter here and follow up on Shatter.
No
Use
bubble,
Nano
they
on
have no
me.
bubble, they have no shit. I have Molten Core in 10. No.
Diva low. Okay, next up Winston. Winston just charged. Winston dead. Baby Diva.
Maybe do.
Okay,
Back out.
card is being
Back
pushed.
out. Back
I
out.
have-
We lost.
Yeah, no
Nice
heals.
daughter.
Okay.
No heals. Back out. Keep backing
Daughter,
up.
I
my
have a daughter. I
God.
need help. Thanks, bud.
So, just get a health pack. Go to get a health pack. Go get a health pack.
Let's go get a help.
Alright, what are we gonna use this fight?
Let's use Molten Core here.
Okay. You guys ready? I'm here.
Alright, Anna. Widow up top. Winston, why the fuck is Winston already here? God, no.
Not the widow.
I don't bubble for you.
Here we on.
Monkey, get the monkey.
Okay,
The monkey
Diva
fight.
on me.
Monkey's out.
Diva low. Oh, I already got point.
I got Zero.
Get out. Fight's over. Get out.
Break bubble.
All track, you can.
Diva just used it. Winston definitely. Soldier 50. McCree just used. Anna has nano. Zen has trance.
I'm gonna use Shatter here. Follow up with Shatter.
Break bubble. Grab.
Inferno stun.
Monkey.
Close.
Use grab.
Monkey low. Alright, Diva, she's right in front. Alright, same thing. Probably Soldier has higher. Soldier has higher ult charge, I guess 70. McCree has 50. Kill Baby Diva available. Up top.
Alright, what are we using this fight?
Grab dragon.
I'll let you know if it's good.
I have Molten Core here.
Just grab dragon. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Watch out.
Bubble. Monkey.
No, when I
Diva,
go for he jumps. He's gonna jump.
Back to
Just
Monkey.
grab dragon whenever you're ready.
Oh, I got eaten.
I have Molten Core. Do you want it? I'm not gonna
Yeah,
die.
you can use it.
I'm dead.
Monkey. Shit.
I got boots. I couldn't use
Soldiers for our
Get
head.
out.
Okay. That's high noon. Shit.
Regroup in spawn. Supporters get back in spawn. Right.
What do you want to use here?
Soldier definitely has ult. McCree just used his.
This is last fight territory. Use all testing.
Diva has her ult back. Diva. He's the enforcer.
Soldier left side.
Here we
Soldier
are.
left side. Oh,
Soldier dead.
Next.
dead.
Diva around the corner. On the left side. Left side.
Anna.
I see her.
Okay, fight's over. All try.
Alright. Monkey. Diva has ult. Soldier just results at 0. McCree at 70. Ana still. Oh, Ana, did it just swap?
He does a really good.
I know
job
Zen
at
still has
tracking.
ult. The only thing I don't know is Ana.
Wait, somebody's behind.
Okay.
Monkey's behind. Monkey's behind.
Focus monkey, 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 monkey. Stagger, stagger. Nice.
I'm gonna use Shatter here, so follow up on my Shatter and use Nano on me or Zarya as we got low.
Power overwhelming.
Diva's
Diva's
high ground, Diva's
up.
high ground.
They're still over.
I'll go bait her out.
They dropped. They dropped. They're
McCree up
jumping high
top,
ground.
McCree
They're
up top.
taking
They're
high
up top. Double DPS up top. Double DPS up top.
They're
They're
all
up top.
high
Alright, let's go high ground.
Everyone's on top.
You're dead.
ground. What are we using
Get
this
out,
for?
get out, get out. Get out, get out, get out.
Get out, get out, get out. Down.
Hey,
Use
I
grab
have.
dragon when you guys can. You guys are alive. Grab dragon, whatever. Oh,
Back to the drum.
Did you? I have molten core. Do you want it?
just use ult as it comes up. Yeah,
Go on
because we're
point.
classified territory. Point. Get on point, get on point, get on point, get on point.
Soldier. Monkey, monkey, monkey half, monkey dead. Diva, 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 diva half, diva half, diva, 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 diva.
Zen's one.
He's Zarya, he's Zarya.
Ana left side.
On the left side, Ana. Alright. Diva, and mid.
Okay, play a little bit back because the
Doom no
point is-
ult, Soldier has ult. Zen still is holding on to trans, what the hell?
I thought he
Ana,
used it.
75. Did you use it?
He might have.
Winston
Guys, pull
low.
back a bit, pull back a bit.
Oh, Diva's the match.
The payload's too close. Pull back, pull back, pull back.
If we can get that soldier, soldier low, soldier low, soldier low, soldier super low.
Yeah, he's one.
I can get him.
Can't get the thing though.
Winston. They have no, they can't follow it up.
I have dragon again.
Use dragon, use dragon.
Dragon on.
Use all the ultras they come up, it's overtime. Ultra.
I almost have 4
Doom
again.
no.
Get on point, get on point, get on point, get on point, get on
I'm
point.
on. I can touch.
Next, Diva half,
I almost have
Mac,
one for keep me alive.
Stop primal.
Thank you.
Nice. Winston half, Winston low. Super low. Winston slept, there we go. On main. It's hard to do both, you're right, Chief.
Hey, yeah, I told you it's a little tough, but you did a really good job. I think you did a really good job for the.
Towards the end, the beginning of the game, I was lacking.
Yeah, yeah. You know where the pogs. All right, look, I want to see which one this is.
Nerf this.
Okay, so one thing that that kind of losses a fight there, almost losses the match, is okay. So on that third point, when you was like, oh, we can grab dragon, grab gets eaten, dragon comes out, dragon doesn't get anything. You should have immediately said we molten core or we die on point. Also, there was a call that you made that we should back out instead of dying on point when the payload was like 30 meters away. Stuff like that can kind of lose you whole team fights or lose you the match, honestly. You have, like, a lot of times when it comes to payload, you want to be dying on the point 99% of the time when you're on defense. The only people who don't need to be dying on point is usually the Zarya that's high charted. So that's going to be Zarya's kind of own call, like, okay, hey, I need to back out or something like that. But if your team's fighting and it's going to be a lost fight, you should be instructing your team to tell them to die on point. Every single time, die on point. Oh, this fight is lost, die on point. You need to waste as much time as possible and not let them get anything, or not let them get any progress, okay? And this goes, and this last thing will go for like everybody here. When ult when alt managing, or not alt managing, when a shot caller is telling us what ults to use, it is at your discretion to use that ultimate, okay? So if we are saying to use grab dragon, then we grab dragon whenever our Zarya goes and grabs. Or if we're going to open with nano, then we nano whenever we need this. When we open with blah blah blah, we're going to open with this or whatever. So these are things that you want to just kind of keep in mind. Please consider using Zen on this last match. Well, you should have been a shot caller and you would have been able to make team comps. That is what a shot caller does. But you didn't want to, so oh well. Next thing is ult tracking, like I said, is pretty good. Target calling seemed to be pretty good as well. You was consistently calling targets and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so Void, you have a couple questions there. Let's go ahead and answer some questions, and then well, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, so we need to fix our comm structure because we have some people. Squid's not able to talk right now, so Impulse, what are you wanting to do? Because you have 2 roles at the moment.
I'll keep on with ult tracking.
Okay, so is anybody wanting to target call?
Does anyone want to ult track?
Or does anybody want to ult track? What? So you want to ult track, or do you want to target call?
I prefer ult tracking, but if someone wants it, they can take it. I'm
Okay.
flexible.
So going once, going twice. Okay. So Doomfist, you're going to target call, and Impulse,
keep ult tracking.
you're stay on your ult tracking. Okay. So Void, go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't use dragon. Well, I did, but like I could have gotten it a lot more during the match, like probably like 4 more times.
Yeah.
And also, I was tempted to use it, but I didn't know why, because one of them said they're all in that one upper part. I could have just shot a dragon through them, killed most of them. I had dragon then.
It's at your discretion.
So at that point, if you have dragons or you're getting close to it or something, you should be asking if you can use it. That's your call. You say, hey, do you want to use dragon here? And your shot caller needs to say yes or no. We have multiple things that can combo with grab if needed, or we can just grab into it. Fine, no problem. But that is up on our shot caller to think, okay, do they have, like, our ult tracker is going to say, okay, they have their trances fight. Okay, fine. So grab dragon's not going to do anything. So let's dragons first. See if we can get out the trance or get some kills or something like that. Then we can grab right after. Oh, and then we can molten core right after. It is all to the discretion of our shot caller because they will be thinking of what is going to happen the next fight. As a shot caller, you should be thinking of what's happening the next fight. The fight after that. How are we going to rotate these ultimates that are going to be coming online? So it's not necessarily your call because did you happen to know what our Zarya had on an ult there when you had it?
No, but I had it a
so
lot.
Well, that even though you may have it a lot, that is a key thing that you are not looking at. Our shot caller is. So if our Zarya is at 90 on grab, and we know, and our shot caller is like, all right, we're going to grab dragon this next fight, then if you think you should use it and you end up using it, we're never going to be able to we won't be able to combo that. So these are things you want to keep in consideration on yourself as a player. And like I said, if you feel like, hey, I have an opportunity here, do you want me to use it? Same thing with me using molten core. Hey, do you want molten core here? That's me saying, I see an opportunity here, do you want me to use it? If they take too long to answer and I die, then okay, I die. But if not, then we may get value from it. It is all kind of at their discretion on what they want to do. It is their job to kind of keep that in mind and know what they have at their arsenal and make sure that we're calling for extra stuff if needed. And one thing I will say is our shot caller, you did a really good job in that overtime situation or its last fight, saying use ults as you get them. So that's really good. Next thing you gotta make sure you're telling us is not use ults if we don't need them. So these are things you want to keep in mind as well. But okay, hopefully that answers your question a little bit, Void. And then you said you had another one?
Oh no, those were 2.
Okay, well then, does anybody else have any other questions or anything like that? Okay. And one thing I do want to make sure everybody understands here this is not going to be so much for like when you play your own competitive matches. This will be based team settings. So this is going to prep you for understanding how to play on a team, how to communicate as a team. Yes, this stuff can roll over to your competitive matches and stuff like that, but in competitive, it does, like, it's so much more of a clusterfuck in competitive. You can't really have a super structure and stuff like that. If you do happen to have everybody in voice chat and everybody's focusing stuff down, then yeah, hey, great, it might work. But like I said, it's competitive. You can have everything go right and still lose because of whatever reason. They could just be super good or something. I don't know. You never know. And you only get you only get like one chance to kind of do something, and you can't go back and look at it, improve and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind when it comes to taking this information and putting it into your own games. A lot of this may not actually help in competitive. It's going to really prep you for team stuff and looking at that. But one thing I will say, if you are going to take any of this over to your competitive matches, the one thing I suggest everybody learning how to do is to alt track. Alt tracking will help you out a lot in game, either changing your own playstyle or helping the other people that are listening to you change their playstyle, because you're not telling anybody what to do. All you're doing is saying, hey, they're going to have these ultimates, you might want to be ready for XXX or whatever ultimates that may be coming online. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and go into our next one. Now, this, I think we have room for 2 more. So these next 2, we're going to take the training wheels off. And since you guys have been doing a pretty decent job so far, you guys, I'm not going to say anything other than what I really need to say. I might try to repeat some stuff or tell you guys to do some stuff a little bit, but ideally I'm not going to really say anything. I'm going to try not to this first round. In the second round that we do this, I'm just going to play the normal hero. Cool hoodie, thanks Hybrid. I think you was here when I ordered these hoodies. Remember like 2 years ago when Overwatch League had these default hoodies? And I think I was in stream at the time, but somebody said Overwatch League had like a 50% off on Black Friday or something like that. It wasn't last year, it was the year before. I don't know if you was there, but I remember, I want to say I was streaming and I seen this hoodie. And I like the default Overwatch League. I don't necessarily...
player icon, go to, where is it, anniversary? No, Winter Wonderland, and then go to hats. You'll find a surprise.
Okay, oh, shoot, I'll have to look in this up. But yeah, I got this hoodie. I love this hoodie. I wish I would have ordered 2 because I can't find it anywhere,
right,
and it was only $13.
Let's run Ryan Zarya
I
here,
love
and
this
then
hoodie.
a McCree, and a Junkrat, and can we get a
No, they're not junk.
and
Mpulse, yes. He is an imposter. An imposter, Mpulse. I'm just kidding. He's been, Mpulse has been here before. He's just...
I was gonna let you play Zen if the map suited, and this map is...
I definitely heard Lord Reaper before. Yeah, that's
You must
Blight.
really love that
He's in chat.
robot, huh?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Very much for waiting around.
So...
Alright, we're gonna hold this corner until we lose somebody.
Let's see how good they, yeah, a long time ago. That's Light, that's Reaper.
You sure? Because if we give her right here, then you can just swing, and they have to come here over the card. We can choke hold them.
Yeah, we'll see as things happen. Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna put a trap in this.
Peek. I got bubble for you. 3, 2, 1.
No, Hog.
They got Hog. Watch your hook.
Hog and Beaver.
Hog, no hook.
Watch the air.
Ryan?
Ryan, no charge.
You don't have shield. Ryan's dead.
Back up, back up, back up. The fight's lost, back out.
Ryan discorded?
I have a Hanzo. When are we
Just
playing
picked
League
a Ryan.
again?
Watch on the right side. And
I don't know.
they got a lot of range. Just lost her Ana.
Lucio discorded?
Go, Lucio.
Hog discord.
We can push hard.
Go in, get on. Go on,
Please
get on point.
heal
We
your
don't have...
Junkrat.
yourself. Back up a little bit. Hog no hook.
Watch the hook.
Reaper no raid. Hanzo no storm. Reaper.
Do you have bubble for me?
Yeah, both ready. Go. Reinhardt low. Reinhardt no charge. Kill the Ryan. Shit.
Die on point. Fight on point.
Shit's cheap.
Everybody, fight on point.
I have him on. Oh, damn. he's
Call out
somewhere.
Wraith. I have him contested.
Yeah.
Is this winnable?
They're backing up.
Yeah, it's winnable.
Hog is just gonna.
I'm booty at league though. That's why I got an S and
Don't
you got
chase,
like
don't
a
chase.
C.
You
Don't
can't
even.
Oh, never mind. What?
Don't
Ults,
even
ults.
try to.
They probably have.
Alright. Let's use tire as soon as it comes up. I'm gonna use shatter.
Okay.
Alright, chief.
Alright.
Back up.
Tiring
There's
now.
Hawks using ult.
Hog just got it.
I have fine dude for
He's
whatever.
there. He's one. He can die.
Hog's dead.
Alright,
Just ready.
Ryan alone.
I got it.
Watch your
Get
card.
on point. Do not back. Reaper behind.
Back one.
Support.
Reaper 1.
Flash you on her?
Yeah, Lucio.
Never mind.
Discord.
Lucio on point.
Discord.
Lucio still on point.
Hanzo
Let's
main.
push up a bit to the courtyard.
Hanzo Discord.
Hanzo's one.
Ryan half. We can focus Ryan down, nice.
Let's back up.
Watch alleyway.
Watch
I still
alleyway.
have high dude by the way.
Alright.
Alright, let's use High Noon here
Shit.
to stall
Falcon
time
main.
whenever they come in next.
I got grab.
I'm gonna shield you, McCree. Let me know when you're gonna use it, McCree. I'm gonna shield you.
No hook.
Gonna come back to the Zenyatta.
The right side. They're split.
Yep.
Watch Hog. Hog is going for a flank.
Where's Hog on the flank?
Shield.
I can use it. I'm using it.
Okay.
Run Discord.
Ryan one. Reaper.
Okay.
I got him.
Die on
Oh,
point,
die on
fight on point, die on point. Everybody, fight on point, die on point.
Who's dead? Ults. They use Shatter, Blossom, Grab, Dragon,
yeah.
sorry.
Okay. Hey.
Hog at
Come for us,
3.
McCree, get out.
Ana has ult.
One problem with this team comp is that we're running a Zen Ana, which is fine. It's just that they're speeding onto us, and we don't necessarily have
Okay,
enough
let's speed
stuff to
up.
focus them down. Or we're not
back up.
focusing them down enough.
Okay, I'm
So
gonna
our
use Shatter
playstyle-
this fight.
Our playstyle with the
Hog Discord.
I have tire.
Okay, use tire. I'm gonna save Shatter.
Hanzo Discord.
You got okay. Wait for Azari.
He's half. He's one.
Who?
Back left side. Hey, man.
Ana's on fire consistently. More than
Where's
likely
the
she'll
Where
go
did
back.
that guy come from? I seen him take the high ground, but I was like, I know he's not coming to like deal with me.
Hanzo
But he
low.
literally went up there to come deal with me. Why
Your
would you
McCree
do
is
that?
15 health. And a hog behind.
Hog behind.
Discord.
Hog.
I didn't know the hog was behind. Can you call it out for a second?
They're back half strong on main.
Yep.
He's on a fire strike. Oh, frick.
So Hanzo's
Run
top
Discord in.
left.
Back up.
Back up.
Yep. Use dragon. Use grab here. Use grab whenever you're ready.
Grab is good. Grab is very good. Grab is excellent.
Run Discord. Soldier.
Shit.
Hanzo. Or Ana, excuse
Face
me.
down, everyone.
So Void still has
Get these
not
kills, guys. Get this kill.
called targets at all.
Quick.
And I bet his mic is muted.
Ana
Void,
Ana
is your
right up
mic
top.
muted by any chance?
Mine's sleeping? Never mind.
Okay.
What?
Ana's up
Is
top.
your
Ana's up
mic
top.
Get
muted?
him.
Because you're supposed to
They're
be
gonna
calling
all-
targets.
To Discord.
It was for the
Two and
first
down,
time
fell
again.
down.
Okay. I was just
Because
wondering.
I have a different preset for McCree.
Okay.
Soldier low. They're headed up top. They're up top. They're up top on me.
Yeah,
I
get
need
out.
help. I need help. I need help. I need help.
There goes Ari.
Fight stun this. Get the Ryan, get the Ryan. He don't have shatter.
Alright, I'm gonna use Shatter here. They don't have a
I have dead eye.
I'm discording. Right,
No,
oh.
he's
Get
in the
the honor, honor,
Ryan,
honor.
if he picks, we can get him. Lucio.
Get out,
I'm
get
still
out,
up
get
there
out.
somewhere.
Now we
Oh, he has the
Get
hook,
the
he has
hook,
the
get the
hook.
hook,
He's
get the
trying to
hook.
get him.
no.
Oh, he's going
Oh,
by.
Vayne.
Hog dipped. Hog dipped.
Zarya
Stand
no
up.
ult. Genji no ult. Soldier
I
has
have mine.
ult. Hog
That's
has
at
ult.
17 hours of
Ana
Duncan
has ult.
gameplay
And
right
they
there.
have feed. Expect those.
Alright, use McCree ult, use McCree ult here. Use it a little bit early, McCree, so that you don't get killed
Okay.
like last. Yeah.
It's your Discord.
Huge.
Right,
Right,
so
they're coming
come on.
It's your
behind.
Discord.
Oh, they're in
Fire.
there. You're stuck in here.
Don't use it, don't use it. So
Hog this.
wait, do not.
He can die, he
Okay,
can die,
watch
he
the
dies.
soldier.
He dies, he dies.
Hog, get the hog.
With the sleep.
Yeah, sleep only does 5 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
Zarya up over there up ahead. Zarya.
I have
Over
tire this
extended.
turn.
Chicken
Zarya,
nugget.
Zarya.
You can use tire
Nice.
here.
No.
Genji's
Oh, Genji
one.
low. Genji low.
No, he got healed.
Back up. Back up. Back up.
Oh, he's throwing. Get this Ryan, he just came in.
Okay. Can you stun him? Can you stun him? Okay,
Oh,
nice.
dude.
I got grabbed this
I'm
fight.
dead. You don't have tire.
They
Alright.
got time. They got
Alright, use
It's
grab,
helping
use grab.
DPS. It's not good.
Genji behind, Genji behind. Back up,
Help
back
you.
up, back up.
Never mind.
Remaining.
You don't understand.
Keep your shield up.
Do you still want tire? I can come in with tire.
Shield, just shield, just shield, just shield.
Yeah, use tire.
Alright, push him, push him, push him.
Oh, got the sim.
Hey, get on our right side. On our right side.
Genji,
Alright.
right behind you. Might try to blade.
Genji behind.
On Discord, or Ryan Discord, is
Run,
shooting.
run.
On our right side.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Get the Zarya,
Zarya.
Zarya. Use ults as you can.
Alright, 3, 2.
I'm fucking swole. I'm so
Okay, so
swole.
you have to be very careful with that last call there. Okay? Because just because we should win it does not mean it's actually won. When you use ults freely, it's overtime. There's only 2 people left alive. You have to be very careful with calling that, because like I said, if somebody's able to touch and they had an ult or something like that, now we just use trance, we use grab, we use all these things before we actually needed to before they actually had something to use it for. So be very careful with using ults, even though it's overtime and stuff like that, because somebody could still touch, or we may not be looking. They could have a Sombra or ball. They could have swapped a ball. All these things that can happen. I've seen it happen so many times where people just think, oh, it's one, I'm going to use my ult here. And then you end up losing the whole match. It's happened like 2 or 3 times to me in a match before, where people just think you can do stuff. All right. So shot calling, okay. Pathing, not well. And okay, so now I want to mention this because this is what happened. It took you too long to actually do it. It was 2 fights before the last fight, I believe, when you got the shatter. Okay. And you was like, hey, I'm going to shatter. And then you said, because they don't have any shields. By the time you said that, they could have already made it around the corner. They could have had an ability. Just hit the fucking Q. All you need to tell us, hey, I'm going to shatter here. Okay, simple as that. We don't need to know why. It's this little extra of useless information you're telling everybody we don't need to know. So keep that in mind.
I was explaining things to the team.
We don't care why. All we need to know is what. We do not care that they have no shields. We don't care that they do that. We do not give a shit. All we need to know is, hey, I'm going to use shatter. Oh, okay, let me be ready for shatter. So that's all you need to do. Nobody cares why. The only people that's going to care why is if we ask why. If they don't ask why, then don't tell anybody why. We got other stuff to worry about. So keep that in mind when it comes to communicating and stuff like that. Overall, our team composition was all right. If and this is things that you can change, since they were kind of running the same team comp to an extent, and their Hanzo is doing pretty good. You could have definitely swapped out your Junkrat for a Hanzo, and had something that's still spammy but also long range. And then also running a Zen Ana can be good, but they're running a Lucio, and I think they're running a Lucio Ana. They can really put pressure on us before we can get that damage out. They was running an Ana the whole time, but they were mostly running Lucio Ana. Toward the end, yes, for the last minute or so. But if they're running the Lucio and you feel like, oh, their playstyle, they're playing too fast. The thing is, when you're running a Zen and a Ana, you have to be playing slow and playing for that Discord. If they're closing the distance really quickly, then either one, we need to be playing a little further back. Two, we can swap our Zen out for either a main support like a Brig or Lucio, if we're still going to be running Brawl, or three, we could swap our tank line out and run something a little bit more mobility wise. But these are things you want to be looking for when you're running these things. On defense, it's not going to be too bad to be playing a Zen and on it. It just really depends on understanding how your team comp is going to work. Because you're not running a Lucio, we don't necessarily need to speed into anybody on defense, but if they're running the Lucio, you may want to have that Lucio so when they speed in, we can speed out. So these are things that's going to be happening and stuff like that. Okay, that's great. Like, nobody really cares. And also, stats don't mean anything in games. You can have gold everything, have great stats, and still lose due to something that you were doing wrong. So just keep that in mind, and that goes for everybody. That's why I play DPS, because DPS doesn't matter in Overwatch. So it doesn't. I was still the murder. This should. Oh, okay. All right. Any last questions or anything like that? Because that's pretty much the hour and a half that's planned. We got like 3 minutes left. If you guys want to play one more, we can do one more. If everybody's okay. If not, then we can do something, or then I can head out. What do you guys want to do?
Oh shit, I'm down.
All right, let's vote so we can make sure everybody's going to be still here. So if you guys want to play, type in P. If you guys want to leave, type in L or something. Because we've got okay, so it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 5. Okay, so we'll play one more. And then I'll go ahead and plug everything in a second. No, I guess at the end. Well, I guess I can plug it while we're waiting. If you guys like the coaching and stuff like that, I will tell you guys after the match is over, because I guess we're gonna get a match very quick.
Traveling to
Oh
horizon.
no.
Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
Let's run Orisa Sigma and a Torbjorn Hanzo and a Zen Ana here, because we can hold high ground. Yeah.
I'm
I
happy
wonder
I have the
who
contender
Zen's,
spot.
Squid is gonna play.
Build them up, break them down.
An Omnic on the moon is not so special. There are more robots.
Okay, I'm back.
Overloading.
Oh, you should have
yeah,
let us
Ana.
know.
Where do I go?
You left Ana.
Ana.
Hate working with these talking tin
Okay,
cans.
so let's look at our team comp. We're running a spam composition, but we have the Ana. Don't really think an Ana would work here very well. We're all going to be playing kind of clumped together. Better pick would have been a Baptiste, because it still spams out a lot of damage, and an AoE can heal. The AoE heal from Bap. So,
4,
I need to put my turret over here.
So we're just gonna spam them out. If they come up, we're gonna go back to the right side.
Enemies in our orbit.
We're running dive,
Balls
so
coming up. Heal.
Two on top. Two dead, nice. They're running counter Orisa. Balls on me.
In Discord.
Ball dead.
He's one.
who?
Is it Discord?
Reaper's behind on our
Where?
on their.
I see him. I got you.
Lucio
Lucio around,
Hydra.
right?
They're going left side? Okay, nice job, Squid.
Point.
They're headed
Right,
one
point.
point,
It's just
only one point.
Lucio, I
I'm
think.
getting 1 point. Not everybody
Lucio
follow.
discorded.
Go back on high ground. Go back on high ground.
Watch your Orisa, Orisa should go high
Lucio's still
ground.
somewhere
Doom high
behind
ground?
Doom is coming up on high ground.
Orisa dead.
Do my ground. Do my
Mercy,
ground.
mercy.
Alright, I got the far.
Ballins in. Point.
Far dead, one on point, one on point.
Point.
Where's Doom? Okay, he died.
I got it.
Okay, fight
Ball at 30. They really did do anything. Ball should be at like 70. Expect mines next fight. Ball's actually putting in work.
I have Torvald.
Okay.
This is coming upstairs.
Let's use
Going
the
outside,
ghost.
I believe.
I don't know where to use it.
Is that Torvald here?
Yeah.
Huge, dude. Beautiful.
Yes.
So discorded.
Doom.
Oh, we can shut him down.
Doom.
Shut him down. Shut Doom.
Doom in space.
No,
Alright.
no.
Ball's up here. One.
Ball
discorded.
Ball dead. Okay, no ball this fight.
Do you still want me to Torvald?
Alright,
Orisa on main.
No. Don't use all.
She's low enough. We can shut her down right now.
We're cleaning up. You can all track.
Shit. They just swapped Doom. They swapped DPS. No DPS ults. Did they swap Ana? But the tanks. Okay, they swapped Ball's the only ult. Ball and Mercy.
All on point.
Orisa, we gotta go.
Never mind now.
We gotta go.
Go where?
Alright, use supercharger this fight. Use supercharger.
I have
Alright.
dragon.
3, 2, 1. Supercharge.
I can dragon this whole way.
No, we don't.
They're all-
Use dragon. They're all there. Follow up.
You took too long to
Top.
reply to that.
Digi top.
Again.
Behind mine. Don't walk
Ball
backwards.
discorded.
I got it.
Ball's one. Keep your stake alive. Follow up. Orisa discorded.
I'm pinned. I need help.
Run can die.
They're going to space.
They're
That's
going
fine.
for
We
it.
only have one choke point. Get ready for charge. They might charge.
Ryan and Mercy outside. And Ana.
They're going outside.
Want us?
Get back inside, Hanzo. You're gonna die.
I'm kind of stuck. Give me a second.
Nice.
Hey, I
Why-
ain't
don't
dying.
kill
Track.
Fight's
They
over
can't
if you wanna all track.
Probably Mercy and Ana. No one else. Everyone else is at 50. Ryan should be at like 45. Ryan's just holding shield.
Use Hanzo. Use
Doom has a point.
Use
Doom has
Hanzo up here.
cooldowns.
Alright. Pretty
Like,
intense
The
match.
only person,
Not really.
the only person putting in work was the ball. So yeah.
To an extent.
Play
Uh.
of the game.
It feels so weird not hearing any sound.
in space.
Yeah.
That's space for you. Ooh, nice.
That was crazy.
What is that Doom doing? I was just.
Dude, how that whole match went is like one after the other, after the other.
It just kept staggering in.
Yeah, that's why they lost, and that happens all the time. Alright, so I'll go and give you guys an analysis in a second. But yeah, if you guys like the coaching and want to join these and stuff like that, I do these lobbies pretty much every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, around the same time. Mondays is the communication coaching. Thursdays is going to be the golden under lobbies. Tuesdays is going to be kind of a free-for-all on what I feel like I want to do. But feel free to come in and join if you meet the requirements of the lobbies that day. You can follow along on Twitch if you want at Mpulse_W. You don't have to. If you want to do the lobbies, feel free to. If you want to add me as a friend, you can as well. I'm not going to receive whispers or anything like that, so please don't try to send me messages either saying thank you or when are you doing a lobby or hey, can you send me an invite. I don't see that shit. Even if I do, I'm not going to reply to it, so just keep that in mind. Oh yeah, well, there's the plug then. other than that, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and go with the analysis. So our team composition was overall okay. I would not have picked a Ana there for our other support. I would have picked a Baptiste if we're going to go full spam. We also don't really have a lot of things to deal with a Pharah. I would have said probably either go a McCree or maybe even go a Soldier. Any of those would have worked there. I would not recommend probably going to Widow there. I would have said, or even Ashe. Ashe would have worked. I forgot Ashe was in the game too. Ashe would have definitely worked with that composition, because we don't really have any, like I said, we don't have a lot of things to deal with the pharmacy if they do come through. We do have some stuff because we do have a Torb, we do have a Zen, and we do have an Ana that can deal with it, but you do want to have something that can kind of at least focus it for the most part, because everybody else is going to be dealing with other things as well. So these are things you want to be keeping in mind on, especially on a defense. They're running dive, so they should definitely destroy us if they play dive correctly, but they're not, so they lose. So these are things you want to keep in mind. Also, on that map, and on some of the other maps, you should know who is going to be dropping down to touch the point to contest. You should be letting your team know, hey, if somebody touches point, Hanzo, you go drop down. Okay. And then we can pocket Hanzo. Or Sigma, you go drop down, or somebody goes drop down. Ideally, you want to have somebody that's mobile, that can get onto the high ground and low ground and stuff pretty easily, which is why I said Hanzo. Or you could have your flex tank to do that. Your flex tank is going to be the one to watch sight lines, peel for supports, stuff like that. They're the one that's going to be doing those things. Your main tank's going to be holding the front line and guiding the fight, what direction you're wanting to go. Target calling was pretty good. Like, we don't necessarily need to call targets until they're there. So all you're doing is just waiting for them to attack, and then when they go and attack, you just call targets. Really good job there. Also, really good information given by everybody through this lobby about who's on point, who's doing this. There's one really good call that I want to mention is like when that ball came in and used his ult. I don't know who said it, but somebody was like, "Don't back up. There's mines," or something like that.
That was me. I always say that because I always see so many teammates are like, "Don't get distracted by the front line."
Yeah, that is a very good call. So really good job on making that call there, because like that can keep teammates alive that may not be focusing on that situation at the moment. One thing as shot caller is like when our Hanzo said, "Hey, I can dragon this thing," it took you like 2 to 3 seconds for you to reply and say something. During that time, they were already out of that area and dragons wasn't really that effective. So whenever they're saying something, like I said, it's a very small window. It's like 2 seconds it took you to reply. You need to bring that down to, oh, yes, they need to. Yes, go ahead. Or no, you should automatically have an answer. Do not wait so long to give an answer. You did give an answer, which is fine. Any answer is going to be better than no answer, but the timing on it is super late. When speaking of Overwatch, 2 seconds in Overwatch, they can get out of the sight lines, and now it's non-effective. Alt tracking, good as always. Not really much to say there. One thing also with our alt tracker, with our alt tracking is, and this kind of goes with our shot caller, you gotta make sure who changed the lights to black? Okay, thank you, Tracer. I was wondering, I was like, why are the lights dimming and then they're all gone? Here, I'll go ahead and turn it black. So whenever they're calling out alts and stuff like that, you should be looking at defensive alts for the what they're going to be doing. So if they're going to be doing X, you need to be having a plan for this. Also, when you said use bongos first, we had 5 other ultimates. I say this all the time. If anybody's ever watched me when I talked about Orisa, or if I talked about Mercy, both of these kind of go hand in hand. You don't use these ults first. You want to use the other ultimates so you can build back the other ultimates with the damage boost. We have multiple other ultimates we can use, and then we use bongos after that when we need to build every other ultimate back online. So keep that in mind when it comes to alt rotations and stuff like that. It's not terrible to have that as a plan and stuff, but I mean, these are things that you want to kind of keep an eye out for to get the best efficiency out of your ultimate usage. All right. So that concludes the last analysis. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that? before I head out. Dang, I look black. You can't even see me. All right.
Huh?
Somebody turned all the lights off on stream, so I am. There's no lights on me, other than the computer. All right. Any questions or anything like that anybody has?